Everybody. So I'm very happy that I will have very nice and very innovative, really for me, guests. I have read about Margaret in our newspapers. I mean, in Slovak newspapers, it was interview with her, and for me, it was just like a miracle. And in that moment, I decided that I just need to invite her for my webinar for all of you to inspire you and to inspire me because it's just unbelievable what she does in her school. And so I'm very happy that she accepted my invitation very quickly, and I'm really very grateful to you, dear Margaret. So I think that for all participants, so we don't have Sabrina. It's just not right name, but you already know from our promotion that we have a principal of school from Berlin, from Germany, and so now, floor is yours. Tell us, please, more about you. And I think that you're a student as well. So you are going to present us very interesting topic. And I am sure that for our group, like project-based learning, it will be very inspiring because what else is project-based learning if not your school and your approach? So thank you very much again for accepting my invitation. And now floor is yours. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Cornelia. Um, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was in Slovakia for 4 days, and it was very nice. I met students and a group of teachers, and I also was in a talk show with Elena, and had this talk with a journalist. And what I will do now for about 13 minutes, we talk about our school and why it is important that schools um, transform. And Jamila is on my side. Hello. Hello, she is a student of the Berlin School, and she will uh, talk to to you um, about her experience in school. So I begin school and transformation. I tell you what was my way from a teacher to a system change maker. And I was in 40 years ago. I started as a teacher in a big city of Germany, and in that time I was a teacher for biology and chemistry, and I was so impressed by my students. They wanted to engage and they wanted to do projects, and they carried out ecological and social projects, and they collaborated and they loved to be engaged, and I learned much from them. And what they need is that we as adults let them free. That means give them many opportunities to act in the real world so that they can feel I can do something for the common good. I can be a little change maker. I have power and I can do good things. And in 1992, there was a first big conference, a worldwide conference in Rio de Janeiro for environment and development. And 187 states took part, and the outcome was the so-called Agenda 21. That's Latin and means what is to do in the 21st century. And after the conference, the UN set up um, a team with scientists, and they should find out how schools must change so that the world can change. And the leader was Jacques Delors, and they wrote a book, Learning the Treasure Within. That was the outcome of their researches, and they found out that 50% of the human potential cannot be unfolded in our schools. So we need to change the schools, and the commission said we must reorganize our curriculum, and schools should be built up on 4 pillars: learning to learn, that's what we do, learning to live together, learning to act, and learning to be. And at that time, in 1996, I was a principal of a big comprehensive school in a big city. And I wrote this Agenda 21, and I was very fascinated. And with my team and with the parents and with the children, we built up the school at this four, based on these 4 pillars. And that means we had one day project-based learning so that the students could engage in the real world. The student invent the new subject project responsibility, we will tell to you later, and many other things. And in 90, and my story goes on in 27. Parents of Berlin asked me to come to build up a school in Berlin, and the school in Berlin did the same as my school in Essen, but we enveloped the model and shared it with others. So, and when we look at our schools, we must realize what are the big challenges of the 21st century. One is how we handle with our Mother Earth. In Germany, we have a footprint from over 3 Earths. That means if everyone would in the world, if all the countries in the world would consume like Germans or Austrians do, we would need over 3 planets, but we have only one, and we have no plan B. That means we must live in other kind. And the second, another huge challenge is learning to live together in several cultural ways, and we must learn to live together because of the globalization. We are not in nations, we are global, and we cannot say, oh, we don't want, we build up walls and then we have no connection. That isn't possible. And the young people, they are connected with internet, and they have no problems. The problems come from the elder ones. And so actually we have a decrease of democracy in many European states because the right parties get stronger, and they want to go back to the, not in the future but to the past. So the world is very complex, and you learn to handle this complexity if you do projects which are interdisciplinary, and not if teachers go in a classroom and know what has what goes on the next 45 minutes, and they students have to fulfill worksheets. Yes, and the world is running, running, running. The changing is very, very fast, and with the internet and with Digitalisierung, it will change in a rasanten way, radical way. And so students have to learn this to take responsibility for themselves, for others, for Mother Earth. They have to learn to live together. That means to do projects with many other people, together with elder ones, with other cultures, and to handle this complexity and not to fulfill what teachers tell them. And so, willst du auch noch was sagen? And that is what is we we all forget much from the subjects we learn in school, but what stays is what the hidden curriculum tell us. And the hidden curriculum in the normal schools is pressure and rivalry and notes and marks, and so many students have fear to make mistakes. We have hierarchical systems. They often have to give right answers to questions from others, and they are not searching their own questions. And often we have many answers and not only one. And the focus is on cognitive learning and not on creative learning. And we have no time, we have a lack of spaces for creativity. You cannot be creative Friday from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. You need spaces with time so that you can experience and yet so you can do many things without being bewertet, without marks, so that you can see, oh, that is in me. You can find your potential. And now we tell you about our school, the Evangelische Schule Berlin Zentrum. We are a comprehensive school. In Berlin, the primary school is 6 years. So students come when they are 12 years old. And after 4 years in Germany, there are central tests, and then some go in the secondary too, to the Matura, Abitur, and others go and work in jobs. So now Jamila will tell about her experience.
Yes, hello, nice to meet you all. I hope you can all see the PowerPoint we uploaded, these pictures. Please write it in the comments if you see them. Would be a good pic. Great. So yeah, how do we learn? We changed our system from upside down because we like Margaret told you, we realized that we children learn best out of curiosity, and school should really inspire and motivate us. And we all want to learn. Children want to learn, but naturally, I mean, they learn a different language when they're younger, and they learn how to walk, and they learn how to ride a bike. So why not continuing this curiosity in school and helping them to be creative and inspiring them to learn further? So what we did was that first of all we learn in age mixed groups. We don't separate we don't get separated by our teachers by abilities or grades or anything. No, we all learn together, and that actually gives us the possibility to really work together and to help each other, so that if someone has strengths that I can profit from, I can ask him, would you like to teach me that? And if I can do something someone can't, I can teach him as well, so that we really work together, and therefore have the chance to learn how to live together. Because in order to learn how to live together, we actually have to learn and live together. So that's what we do. And so I will just show you what we do every day. First of all, when we come into school, the first thing we do is to decide what subject we want to learn in. So we can decide whether we want to learn math today, or German, or English, or science, or whatever. So that actually gives us the freedom and motivates me personally to have the freedom to decide. Is actually great motivation, because no one tells you you have to do that, whether you like it now or not. Because there are some days when you wake up and say, okay, I can't do calculus today, or I can't do anything in math today because I can't concentrate. That's no problem in our school. You just go to English or German instead. So you have this great opportunity to decide what you feel up to. And when you've made the decision for one subject, you go into this so-called learning labs. They look like those pictures we show you, and start working on your own on provided material. And in every learning lab, there is a teacher as well, of course. So if you have any questions, you can turn to the teacher or to other students, because students sometimes explain things better than actually the teacher does. But you work mostly by yourself, and that also gives you the opportunity to work in your own tempo. You don't have to work at the same time as everyone else does, but you can take your time. And if you're really fast on a subject, then you can just go along. And if you need more time, then that's okay as well. You can take your time and work on your own. Like you see that boy sitting in the corner. He's just working on his own. Other two are discussing things. Another one is asking a teacher something. So you can just work on your own, and the atmosphere is pretty relaxed, because you don't have to do what everyone does, but you can find your own way, which is very important, I guess.
It's like Montessori with modern material.
Right. We also invent the materials, as our teachers invent the material. And she actually built a education innovation lab where design thinkers and many great people, also students and teachers and everyone, invents materials so that we can use this material and learn from it.
In this learning lab, you learn the basics, which are important for the national tests. Yeah? And it's only 10 hours a week, and we are a whole school day, in a whole day school. So we have 36 lessons a week, and this learning lab is are 10 hours a week.
I've just read the question that whether we can choose always German, always one subject. No, of course. I will tell you that later. But of course, there's a system that we can do one subject all the time, but we have to change. But it's just that we have an organizer kind of. We have a so-called German logbook. That's just a book where we kind of a timer where we always write in what we did after an hour, just 2 short notes maybe. And that's for us to know what did we do, where do I stand in what subject, and to have an overview of everything we do. And in the end of the week, we have a yeah, well, that's the picture of self-organized learning. I will tell you later how that works, because we have a collaboration with our teachers that help us organizing that we do everything in every subject and not only one subject. But I will come to that later. So like she said, the first 2 hours a day or 1.5 hours a day are these learning labs, the basics, and the rest of the day is project-based learning. And for that, we have, for instance, 1 day a week, a whole project day after the learning lab. So we have 5 hours time to work on a project and research into self-chosen questions that are very interesting, because most of the times we get a theme, a big topic like, I don't know, health or water or whatever, and then we have to find our own questions inside that big topic and start researching and I don't know, making interviews or asking people about it, going to experts and explaining, reading, and all that, so that we pursue our own self-chosen questions that interest us personally, but in the meantime learn a lot about researching, um, about that topic, about collaborating, about working in teams, about how do I get my information and all that. And in the end of when we finish the project, we create something that could be a presentation or something, an installation, a video, everything actually, a book. You can write a book, whatever. But in the end, you have to make a presentation about what you did in that project and present it to your classmates and to your teachers, so that everyone can actually profit from your project because they learn a lot in the end. And these projects are very free and are a lot of fun, but also give us a chance to actually research in our interests, and gives us a lot of freedom as well.
Yes, one project is about 6 weeks. So you can also go outside, you can work together with artists or with experts to do interviews and so on.
Yeah.
What
So
is the role of the teachers in the learning lab
labs,
and
yeah.
in projects?
Well, the teachers, instead of simple educators who usually stand in front of us, they suddenly become the role of coaches, because in learning labs they are available. But we have to ask them. We have to come to them, and they don't have to say, okay, you have to learn this and that and that. But they actually are not expected to teach, but to guide us, so that when we need help, that they are there for us to help us. And I think that's actually a great role for a teacher as well, because if I'm a teacher, I don't want to stand in front of an unmotivated class and say, okay, I have to teach you something that you probably don't even want to know. But it's a totally different role if you are in the background and the children are actually coming to you because they want to learn and they want your help. And I think that's a great role change for the teacher as well. And in the projects, they guide us as well. So they actually have the same job. They guide us, they give us ideas, they give us possibilities, they allow us to go outside and all that. They explain things to us, but they are not the one in charge all the time. We are the one in charge, and they are our who guide us along. So these
So,
are some pictures of the projects we do. It can be a lot of things and very interesting. Also, a lot of science involved.
no, what about marks
Yeah.
and
Also,
tests?
yeah, that's also important. We don't get marks the first few years, and that's very important because that first of all, it prevents the competition. You're not going like against your fellow students, I want to be the best or anything. That's completely out of the system. And it also reduces the stress and the pressure, because you're not learning for a good mark of or being the best anymore, but you're learning for yourself and because you want to learn something. And the focus is not so much on what is expected of me, but more like what do I learn from me. And then in the end, at some point we get marks, but they don't matter as much anymore because they're just just marks. They don't value our accomplishments as much as the things that we get, because instead of marks we get personal certificates. Every teacher writes you whenever you finished a unit in this learning lab or a project or something. The teacher writes you a personal certificate where he gives you very constructive feedback that you can learn off, and he tells you what was what you did very well. And it this certificate is very personalized and tells you so much more about you and your accomplishments than the mark, because the mark is just from 1 to 6 or from A to F, and it doesn't tell you anything about what you did. So that's way more personal and also not pressuring. And then what else does the teacher do for us? It's very well known in neuroscience and out of experience that learning is based on good relationships, because learning happens when you have a good relationship to someone you trust. And that's why our teachers and like I said, our people to guide us, but they are also our personal tutors, our personal coaches. So every teacher is the class teacher of one class, and he's not always in that class, but he's responsible for that class. And those students in that class are his tutors. He's the tutor to those students. So every teacher has his kids that he guides along, kind of 13 of them, so that once a week we meet up for personal coaching for, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe, and where we talk about what did you do last week, how are you feeling, okay, do you have any problems, can I help you with anything. That's the kind of relationship that establishes a teacher with a student on a same eye level, on a very personal basis, so that, despite all my freedom and self-responsibility that we have in this system, you're still never left alone, because the tutor is the one you can always turn to when you have any problems or when you need any help. And that's actually a very great feeling, that um, you always have some help there when you have any problems, and you're never left alone with this very free concept of learning that can be challenging at times. So
And the teacher also recognize if you don't go to English, for example, yeah? And then he say, "Oh, what that?
yeah,
You were 3 weeks not in
not in
English.
English, what
What
happens?
happens?"
So
Yeah?
there was the question that how many students are in one class. We have about 26 to 28 students in one class, but every class has two teachers who are responsible for those classes. But like I said, these teachers are not always in this class. They have normal school weeks, like every other teacher in every other school as well. But we try to start relationships with teachers and students by trying to have the teacher have as minimal students as possible, that they don't only teach in as few classes as possible, so that they can establish a relationship with those students. We don't try teachers to have like 45 minutes, like 100 students a day, but we want them to have maybe 75 students as all in 1 year, so he can really get to know those students and start building a relationship. So yeah, in one class, 26 to 28 students.
3 classes are one team.
Right.
No? And most of the teachers have only lessons in these 3 classes. For example, if they have 10 hours learning lab and 5 hours project, it's 15, and 2 hours coaching, then they have 17 hours only in their class or their little team.
Yeah. So much about that.
Also, das ist jetzt Learning to, warte, nochmal jetzt. We start every lesson with 2 minutes silence, so that you can go inside,
Calm down.
calm down, and learn to hear to inner, to your inner,
to be connected to your
God.
inner self and not being distracted by all the other things happening.
Jetzt kommt, ist nicht die richtige Versammlung, aber kannst du noch Versammlung sehen?
Yeah, well, so I've talked about relationship. You don't have to steal this; you can just copy it, and it's fine. And we also have assembly every week, because we want to meet and have a good relationship amongst our students as well. So we meet, and so we have to get to know each other, and that's why we have a big ensemble every week where we all come together. And every week a different class prepares this ensemble and assembly, and we have some topics that we do. They're like singing a song together, or again.
Yes,
Great.
we can see, we can hear you. Yes, now everything perfect.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
So,
Great.
all we told you is putting the subjects of the old school and find other ways in organizing school. That means the basics you learn self-organized, like Montessori schools do. In this project day, you learn to be creative and to have your own questions, and you are working in teams, and you learn that things are interconnected and interdisciplinary. And to have a good feeling in relationship, to have good relationships to your teachers and especially to your coach. And all are working together, collaborate, and the students are not in competition
That's right.
because they work in other ways and they love to help one another, and this mixed groups help also.
Yes, a lot.
It is not possible. It is not how's that song? You can also
Condition.
work in this way if you are not mixed in mixed groups, but
But
the students can
it's
better help one
supportive.
another if you have self-mixed groups.
Yeah.
And our and but where do you learn to handle disruptive changes or to risk something or to handle with insecurity? So to learn this, we have three subjects who are not in school, which are in life.
Yes. Right.
One is responsibility, one is challenge, and one is intercultural experience. And now Jamila will tell.
Yeah, I will tell you about those projects. The first one, the responsibility project, is like it says, gives us the opportunity to experience what it is like to take over responsibility. And therefore, once a week for 2 years, we engage ourselves in a social or ecological project and take over responsibility. Like you can do anything. You can do in a nursery home or taking care of children, going in a kindergarten, or helping elderly people in a foster home or whatever. And it's actually great to experience what. And I mean, we do this in seventh grade and eighth grade. I mean, we are 12 and 13 years old, most of us. Some even are 11, and you experience how important it is, and what you can actually do for others. Because it was great for me to experience. I was at a child's kindergarten kind of thing, and the first year, and I experienced what it was like to take a responsibility for those children, and it was so great because they were so happy to see me every week, and they were like thanking me for coming, and um, I actually could move something because I could teach them something, I could play with them, I could um, reach out to them, and I learned so much about what it means to take a responsibility, and at the same time um, I experienced that I could actually help others and I can do something, even as a 12-year-old. And that was very important that even I can make a change and I can be a change maker. And especially the cool boys, I think you know them all. Like my brothers, he's 16 now, and when he was like 12, he was like the cool boy, and everyone loved him in school. And then he went to those little children, and all of a sudden he was like totally different human being. He was so nice, and he had them sitting on his lap, reading something to them, playing with them, and it was so cute seeing him like that because I hid around the corner and watched him playing with those children, and that was so cute because I experienced that he can be, yeah, that even he can take over responsibility, and all the children need at that age is someone who trusts them and say, okay, I trust you to take over this responsibility, and have faith with them, and then they can do so much. It's incredible, I think, because it was very unusual for adults to trust those 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds because they think, oh, they are too little. I mean, we do this by ourselves because we have to organize this by ourselves as well. So we search a project for ourselves, and it was very hard to find a project because some institutes I wrote to and said, okay, I'm a 12-year-old girl and I want to help you and take over responsibility. They were like, oh no, you're too small, you're too little, you can't take over responsibility, we don't trust you. They didn't say it like that, but it was the message that came across. And it's very unusual for adults to give that trust to children, especially when they have to take care of 6-year-olds. But when they gave the trust to me, it was very a nice experience, and I learned a lot.
And
was great.
it's a subject where your heart
Yeah,
is grown up.
yeah,
Huh?
it definitely did.
So ein paar pictures. Actually, we have about 200 schools in Germany. who do this. They come to visit us and then they implemented it too.
It's very easy to implement, and
Here we are working in a underprivileged in a school with underprivileged children, and also with refugees.
yes. And the next challenge, and the next project in life is called the Challenge Project, and it's kind of the next step because this time we spent 3 weeks out of our hometown, outside of Berlin, without our parents or teachers, and only 150 euro, facing a big self-chosen challenge. We have someone who guides us along who's over 18, but he doesn't have to say anything. He's just guiding us and is there to calm down our parents. But we do everything on ourselves, and um, find a project. The mission is to find a project that challenges ourselves, because everyone has different challenges. For me, I'm not very athletic, so for me it was a challenge to go hiking for 3 weeks. In the mountains. So that's what I did. And at one challenge project, we do this 3 times when we're 13, 14, and 15 years old. So it's very exciting, and you learn a lot, but especially you learn to deal with insecurities, because that's actually very important for the future, I guess, because we don't know what challenges and what's coming ahead, and what's so we have to learn in school what it is like, or what it means to deal with insecurities and how we do that. And that's definitely something you learn in this challenge projects, because you never know what will happen the next day. You never do. And also you learn how to deal with money, for instance, because you only have 150 euros for 3 weeks. That might seem like a lot of money, but I mean, Germany kind of is expensive at times, can be expensive at times. And also, you don't have, it's kind of 5 euros a day, and you can't stay in a hostel with that money or buy expensive food. You have to really organize everything. And so you have to start cooperating with people and asking whether, what we did a lot of many times was going asking people whether we could camp in their gardens or something. And you have to approach people, and you have to be very courageous, and you have to outgrow yourself, because you will really make mistakes a lot, and you will fail a lot. But that's okay, because in the end you will just getting stronger. You're going to be stronger from it. You will stand up again, and life goes on, and you will start trusting in yourself. You will start realizing what great abilities are hiding inside you, and I mean are hiding in everyone really, but you have to explore them and see, oh wow, that's actually what I can do. And these pictures you see are all from challenge projects. The most of them are in groups and doing, I don't know, hiking, a canoe trip, or riding a bike, or I mean, if you're afraid of horses, for instance, you could work on a horse farm for 3 weeks. You can do anything that challenges you personally.
So this is a most important subject
Definitely,
for the future.
definitely. And also, what you definitely learn at those challenge projects is to value things that you think are, um, yeah, are those little daily things that you have, like a toilet whenever you need one, or a shower every day. These little things that you think that you take for granted, after those 3 weeks, you don't take them for granted anymore. And now, what I did was thanking my mom every day for making me so tasty food, and she was like, "Okay, what's wrong with you? You've never thanked me before for that. It's common, of course, I make you food." But I was so thankful for that, because the food I ate in those 3 weeks was really crappy most of the time. So I was thankful for that, and all those little things that you don't realize. It's very,
Yeah.
you don't take the world for granted anymore, because soon it won't be anymore.
And in these 3 weeks, you don't consume, you don't go
No.
into shops, and
You don't have electricity all the time. You can't use your smartphone all the time or anything.
you get in a good connection with nature,
Definitely, yeah.
because you are these 3 weeks
And with other
completely in nature.
humans. I mean, you have to work in teams. You go on this project in teams most of the time, and you really have to cooperate, because you can't work against each other anymore. You have to stay in a team and work together to achieve your challenge, and to conquer your challenge, and to achieve your goals. Aber jetzt haben wir schon gesagt,
Wir machen nur ganz kurz,
Okay.
aber in der Oberstufe.
So
kann sein.
yeah, and the next step of that is to go abroad. Many students do this, and in our school it's kind of a subject that's just enrolled here, and that's 3 months abroad. Just going abroad for 3 months and engage yourself in a social or ecological project in another culture, and learn something about another culture. Have intercultural experiences, which is very accurate and very important. But I think for the future, because of the globalization, everything is becoming one more and more, and I think we just have to learn how to deal with other cultures and to live together again.
Yes. So that's what we're doing. And many people are interested. They can't imagine what that cannot be, that students learn self-organized and so on. And so they wanted to visit our school. German schools are very conservative. And always people say, oh, it's not allowed, but it's more allowed than we think. And so we are a courage model, courageous model for them. And as so many, also, and in this our school model, you learn to learn. You learn to act with this project, responsibility and challenge. You learn to live together because all are helping one another and are living together, also children with special needs. And you learn who you are through yoga, meditation, but also in this challenge project and also in this in another culture project. So what we do to handle these thousands of visitors who want to come, we break the rules another time. That means not teachers and other visitors, students do it, young students.
Yes, we do teachers training, in-house trainings and adult trainings, that we students organize mostly. They get a little input from the headmasters of our school, and the rest is in workshops that we students moderate and workshop for the teachers to come, because we can talk out of experience like I do now. We can tell them what's really going on inside the school and infect them most of the times, because again, these are students 12 and 13 years old explaining to teachers on the same eye level again, what they do and what their experiences is and what they need in school, what's important to them. Because what is actually important, I mean, all the schools are there for us students, so why not asking the students what they need? And that's actually what happens there, because we explain them how we learn best.
And we also have outside trainings. That means workshops in schools and sometimes also in companies. And our students are often speakers in conferences. When they are 14, when they are, and if young students, 13, 14 years old, speak from the heart, with passion, with enthusiasm, and glowing eyes, they have the power to infect the audience with the virus to change, and they teach and move the hearts. And we reach an audience of about 30,000 people every year, and we do it since 4 years. So in Germany, many schools say, oh, it's not possible, we are not allowed, it's such a big issue. And so to have more impact, I founded an initiative, School in Transformation. In German it is Schule im Aufbruch, to support schools who want to change, to build networks, to support them with webinars, with MOOCs, with films, with conferences. And so about 50 schools in German are now in movement. This, here is that. Here are photos from our students as speakers.
Yeah, two friends of mine, Paulina and Evie, with 5,500 teachers in Switzerland.
Yes, 14.
Getting standing O in the end.
Yes, and School in Transformation was also founded in Austria in 2014. And in Austria, it's a very, very strong change maker. It becomes a strong change maker in many regions of Austria. Schools are changing now. And we have about 10% of schools who are in movement in 2 years. And School in Transformation was also founded in Poland. This is a book I wrote in Polish. So all over the world, teachers are interested. They want to change. They see the need. Also, many parents see the need, but they have no pictures of the new. So it's very important to show how the new school can be.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
We're
not
just an example of a new school. I mean, you can do what you can invent new things. Of course, you can. It's just you don't have to copy this model. It's just all about showing them what's possible, what else you can do, and that's our mission.
Yes, and I wrote 2 books, and Jamila also wrote a book.
Yes, with two of my friends, because we realized that everyone is talking about school, like politics, teachers, parents, everyone, but no one really asks the students, the one who matter in this matter. So we thought about it and said, okay, let's write a book. Kind of. We got help, of course, but we wrote this book completely by ourselves. Two friends of mine and I did, and it was published in 2014. And yes, it was pretty successful in Germany. It hasn't been translated to English yet, but we're on it, and we just want to spread the ideas. And in that book, we also explain how we work here in school, but also what children say in all over Germany and in Italy and everywhere, what they like about their schools or what they don't like, so that we are on comparing or want to know how students learn best and what they need.
So people are afraid of unknown and of new. Many people have fear, and they have fear to fail, and they say, oh. And so my experience is that people need great vision, that they overcome their fear, that they have the power to leave their comfort zone. And we actually have this great vision worldwide. That are the 17 global goals in September 2015. 190 world leaders committed to them. And they should be reached in 2030. So here you see the goal number 4, quality education. To reach these goals, we need courageous young people which are used to take responsibility for themselves, for others, and also for Mother Earth. We need courageous people who have the courage to act. And if you are sitting on a chair, we won't reach the goals.
And of course, I've just read, of course, the knowledge is very important as well as the foundation for everything else. But we also, of course, learn this basics and get this level of knowledge in the schools by doing what we do. I mean, we learn a lot, like in this challenge project or abroad. You learn not only about the culture, but also the language and all that. And of course, we have history lessons, but we have another approach at them. We do that in projects and get all this knowledge, but with a more inspiring kind of version of teaching and of education.
In the national tests, we have very good marks.
Yes.
And also in the Central Matura, we are very, very good. So, quality education is not quantity. It's not PISA. It's not. It's otherwise. It's to empower young people to collaborate in the interconnected challenges of the 21st century, to be creative, to have the courage to change and to transform and to live otherwise. And we know from studies that in our schools, sustainability, you cannot learn sustainability because you have subject, tests, homework. The next day is full. And children and young students, and as we as adults, they hear in the news on newspapers always catastrophes, always bad things. And young students want to live in another world. They want to be more democratic and justful and peaceful. And if we give them no opportunities to act in the real world so that they can feel, I can change, I can do something, they have not nicht den Glauben an sich. They don't believe in them. So it's very, very important for this great issue, the global goals. And that is the purpose of the school in the 21st century, to empower young people to create a better world, to give them the skills, the knowledge, the consciousness, and the courage to act. And that is why we need education system change. Yes. And my experience is that school, college, which are afraid, can be infected with this great purpose and with the global goals. That's why we need school transformation. Yes. And so we are ambassadors for the global goals, and yeah, we try what we can do. And yesterday I get an email. Probably, ne? Yeah. Probably the book of Jamila and also my book will be translated in Slovakish. So then you can also read the books. So I think we are at the end. Warte. Gucken, was noch kommt. Ja, das ist jetzt. Yes. And so we need everyone, the parents. Yes. It's very important to take the parents with you if you get in transforming, and that you have a big vision, and the steps must be so little that you can get everyone with you.
Yes, thank you. And very good, very nice information in the end that it's going to be translated in Slovak language. So I'm happy about that because we need it here so much. This is like a miracle for us to listen to you. Really, yes. Very impressive, and still, yes, we need transformation, and I think that we all are able to make a difference.
Yes, I think also many people in Slovakia dream from another world, and the journalist told me that the article of me, the interview, was read from many people, the most people they ever had.
Yes, sure. That's why I get to you also.
Yeah.
So it was really.
And also in the university, the students were so so
Inspired.
inspired and impressed, but it's to be impressed and to change is another
Yeah,
thing.
there's other things to be impressed,
Yes,
but then you have to come into action and actually change something
yes,
because
that is
that's
that courage, and
yeah,
yes,
that's a courage thing to do, courageous thing to do. But you
yes,
have to do it because with talking you're not changing much. So
Yeah, on Friday, Jamila and me had a TED Talk. You know what a TED Talk is?
yes, yes,
that
sure.
TED, yes. We had a TED, we together,
Mm.
and in English, about changing education system change. I think tomorrow or the day after tomorrow it will be online. Yeah.
Great. So
yes,
we will find it.
the TED Talk is recorded. It was TEDx TU Vienna, so we were in Vienna for that, and it's going to be online soon.
And we also sung our
We're
Global
our
Gold
Global
song.
Gold
Also
song,
we have a school song, um, which is about the global goals, because the global goals are our school ethos. And we will sing for you the refrain.
Yeah, okay, just a second.
Ist nicht.
Yeah. I'm just writing that.
Yes. Writing TEDx talk.
So,
TEDx,
3,
yeah,
4.
great.
I'm not alone, you are not alone. Together we rock the global goals. We get this done. Tell everyone, tell everyone. I'm not alone, you're not alone. Together we rock the global goals. We get this done. Tell everyone, tell everyone.
That's just the chorus of the song. And it's
Thank you.
Yes.
What a nice ending of your great presentation. Thanks so much. It was so much inspiring for us. Really, I just suppose that if we just implement from tomorrow just 2% of your ideas, then we are on the right way. Every day a small step.
Every step is a step.
Yes,
definitely
yes,
steps can be very small, but they have to be there. And when the vision is great, I think the steps to the vision can be small because you have to get a lot of people to accomplish them, but just stay courageous and keep working on it. I mean, we do too. We always change things in our school that need improvement, but that's what we do because the world is moving, and so should schools be. They shouldn't be stuck in time like they are currently.
There was one question if the school is a private school.
yes.
The school is half a private school. We have the same ja, genauso viel Geld. We don't have more
Money
than others. We don't have smaller classes than others. But it's from the it's combined with an evangelische Schule, Protestantic.
They
Wie sagt man? So and the parents have to pay money. It's the money they pay is about what they earn. We have about 25% of students who don't pay any money because parents have no money, and the others pay not much money. It's about like the money you have to pay in kindergartens. And in the schools in transformation in German, there are some private schools, the other schools are all, wie sagt man, staatliche Schulen,
yeah, from
state schools.
sponsored by the state.
And some of them do the same things as we do.
Yeah, this concept is not only possible in private schools. It can be actually done in any school, but it was easier to get permission for all these things here, but it's also possible in other schools. It just sometimes takes a bit longer, but it's possible definitely.
If you, also in German, I took the school law, and there is written prepare your students for the jobs.
For the future.
For the future. Yeah, what is the future? We don't know what the future is, so we have to prepare students. If we want to prepare them for jobs, 50% of jobs will be
Gone.
gone. They have to learn to be self-organized and to have no fear for insecurity, and they are strong enough to change things. So, and the other is in Germany, in every curriculum you have learning sustainability, educate for sustainability. So we do this because you cannot learn responsibility from books. You can only learn it from doing it. And so I take the law, what is written in it, and then the question is what in what arrangements you can learn this. And so we have no problems. We have many people in the school Aufsicht, wie sagt man?
Yeah, in the politics. And
Politics who love school in transformation, who call me, oh, can you lend me for students for a roadshow through our schools. So and in Austria it is I'm also in a good connection with a minister of education, and they love school in transformation very much.
So I've just read that the mentally needs to be changed. That's totally true. It's all about mentality, and because some students say we have a totally different school culture, and that's true because the mentally had to change first, and then all this education and concepts came second. But first of all, we had to change the mentality, and that's what happened here. Of course, that's right. And also, someone asked whether we teach religion. We do have religion lessons, but they're not Protestantic or anything. They're just about the world religions. We do Hinduism. Last last semester we did Hinduism and meditated a lot, and another half we did the great world religions, and then we made a comparison between what they had in common, the in Jewish the Muslims and the Christians and all that. So we do have religions, but it's not we don't have to be religious to go here. I'm not religious myself, so but I'm still at the school learning perfectly fine with everyone else, so that's no problem.
I see the question how many subjects you teach.
Yes.
We teach German, English, math, and science communities, science, also history, geography, and is one subject. They learn it in the learning labs by themselves, only the basics. We have sport by a sport teacher. We have religion by a religion teacher, and we have science by a science teacher, but only 2 lessons a week. The other part of science is in the projects, because science and society are often connected. Yeah, and the issues of the future also. And then we have lessons in the so-called Wahlpflicht. That means students can choose a second language, also the third language, German, English, all have English, the third language, or arts or music or practical things they can choose. And then we have workshops 2 days a week, or 2 times a week. That means 2 hours on Monday and 2 hours on Wednesday. And we have a lot of opportunities. That can be theater, that can be sports, or more math, or meditation, or
Crafts, handwork, whatever.
dance. And
Wood.
also students can anbieten,
Can offer
can offer a workshop.
a workshop. Yes, because you only have to be expert. You don't have to be a teacher. You have to be an expert. So, my brother, for instance, he offered a football workshop because he likes playing football and basketball. So he 1 year he did a football workshop with 2 of his friends, and the next year a basketball one. So yeah, that's the concept.
And also NGOs are involved in the workshops. And so
Safe.
we save teacher lessons because only some teachers are involved in the workshops. And so we have the lessons, the teacher lessons for project. Project is with 2 teachers, and also the lessons for this coaching. It's also 2 teachers for 1 class. We saved it
in
other
projects and where we learn it by ourselves, or where teachers or experts are coming and
we also
us
have
learn.
students who help us. And
someone asked how old the students are. So we start coming to the school when we're 12 years old, because the primary school goes up to 6 years, so until we're 12. So when we're 12, we change to this upper secondary and to this next school kind of, and that's when we're 12 years old until we're 18 probably. But you can finish also when you're 16. It depends on what you want to do, but that's basically it. And someone said something about overlapping subjects, and that's just very important because all these subjects are all connected, and we don't see the reason to separate them all, because why not learning something about history and German at the same time? And so that's why we have a lot of projects with overlapping subjects where we don't have to separate everything, but where we can just learn everything that comes with it.
Yes. So after 4 years, every student has learned to be self-organized.
Yeah, definitely.
Some need several years,
Yeah.
but they have the coaching and the approach, and so we give them this time.
So if it happens that someone is not like able of self, is not responsible, so there is a teacher who acts like a coach and who just try to motivate him to learn and to be more active. You have
we
such
have
students, don't you?
we have also children which with Down syndrome. They have a special learning lab in the first 2 hours because some of them cannot read. But at the other time, they are always with the others, and they have also challenge. Not, one children with Down syndrome is in one group. They have challenge, and we have some students with learn disability. They get other material, and the other ones, if you see the school in whole, someone who don't love to sit in the learning lab and learn math. He loved to take responsibility in the community and to have this challenge, and so they love the school. All students come gerne, like to come, and it's this whole, it's this all, it's the assembly and the teachers, and they get help, and and someone must be coached, of course.
And there was a question, do you work using technologies?
I've just written down the
Sorry.
question
Now,
and answer. We don't use more technology than in other schools, I would say, but we do use some tablets sometimes for research or computers,
Or
but
handies.
or our phones when we're allowed to. But that's just for research and or for making movies. Sometimes when you do a project, you should film an interview or something. Yeah, we do use technology, of course we do, but a lot of schools do these days, so that's actually not so special, I guess. But it's important as well, of course, also to get to know these technologies, especially for I for instance, I had a long time I had no such thing as a computer at home, so I never learned anything about it. So when I came to school, I learned, and some other kids explained to me how it works, and that was actually good for me to learn more about technology.
It's not a subject, but if you come, you get a little introduction. Also about the social things with internet. What you are be careful for. Have to be careful for this.
Yeah, yeah, because you have to take care in the internet, of course. So we learned something about. And by not more than in other schools, I just meant that I guess that I don't know what some schools use more technology and some use less. I know that in Scandinavia they use there was one school that visited us last year. They are only working on their chat on their Macs, and they are not writing down anything on paper anymore. So that's not what we do. But I know that a lot of schools are working with tablets and
WhatsApp machen
computers
wir nicht.
and
WhatsApp, Papa.
social media. No, yeah, we do use WhatsApp in Germany, of course, but not in school. That has nothing to do with it. And social media, of course, we use it, especially the kids, but also not in school that much.
We have a platform.
Yeah, so it's learning.
It's learning. It's the name. It's learning, so that teachers can install groups and give
Yeah,
material, and
that's okay.
so we have. Yes.
Working pretty good, and they can write us messages, and we can see some things online. Can look up whether a teacher is sick or whether we have some. But that's actually only in the upper secondary. The 7th to 10th grade they don't have that. Only up to 11th grade they to communicate more with the teacher via those platforms.
It's learning is
It's very common.
It's very common
in schools.
In schools, not only in Germany, worldwide.
It was designed for schools, for teachers to have their groups and implement material for their students and to have a.
It's like Moodle. Moodle is another platform, and its learning is like Moodle.
For schools, especially.
Yes, great. So I think that 1.5. Oh my God, that longest webinar I've ever had with my guests. So, what does it mean? That it was so much interesting for us and inspiring. Thank you so much, ladies. Really,
we had article in the Guardian.
The Australian.
Ach so, you had an article in your Slovakia newspaper. You don't need the Guardian.
Others, yes, because there are people from Europe. So yes, so in Guardians they will read. But
yes.
I just Googled you, so I read info about you. Yes, also this Guardian, and yes, even YouTube. That you have some video there, and so
yeah. In as a feedback to the Guardian article, we got emails from whole the world, and so we they want to visit us, and so we had 2 dates, and we had workshops here with people from 12 countries, and we have trained teachers in English with people from 12 countries. It was very interesting because they connected to one another also. Yeah.
I've read the question before, where they can find those workshops out of school students online. Can they find it anywhere?
Online? No.
No. Okay, so how did they get?
Or the dates, or the content.
Die wollten wissen, Nee, wie sie sich für Lehrerverbindung
Ah,
anmelden. Ob's
at
irgendwie
our
eine,
website. Schreib mal die Website rein.
wie die Lehrerin
Yes.
Jamila will give you
evangelisch.
www.ev-schule-zentrum.de. You find a link. You find a link. Schüler, Schulen, Lehrer. That means students, teachers. It's a link. And if you go to this link, you find the date and you can write an email.
Yes,
Thank you.
like I did.
So,
Thank you very much. I think that you just
That's front
deserve relax now. It's really so thank you so much for the whole day of working even now. Yes, great presentation. Thanks a
thank you
lot.
for your
Yeah,
time.
thanks for coming and
Oh,
visiting this webinar. It was the first time for me to ever give a webinar. It was very interesting. All
yeah.
this technology.
So great, and you did so well. So yes, now you can just do it very often. So we
Yeah,
will.
Yeah.
So I
learn a
will
lot
invite
today.
you. I will invite you again and again. Yes, because you do very well. Great.
Oh.
Thank you. Thanks so
Bye.
much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thanks a lot.
Bye bye, Cornelia.
Bye. Thank you all for participating, and I hope that you can find, of course, recording very soon in our group platform. So just now it's time for us to implement as much as possible all these ideas. Thank you very much. And please visit our group platform in PBL course also to put maybe your ideas of project-based learning that you did in your schools. Just share your ideas with us and inspire us all. Thanks a lot and bye bye.